Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is Global War 85, Operation Warthog, Soviet Global Command 8.3. Okay, let's start off with some tech. Advanced Logistics, Advanced ASF, Advanced Sonar, Advanced Airborne. Shit, I don't remember. I think that was a 6. Okay, Advanced Airborne is the only one that hit, and it is complete. Completing Advanced Airborne, I'm sure you remember, gives Soviet Airborne Infantry +1 on attack and defense, and it increases the airborne ops capacity of all their air bases by 1. Okay, next up is Global Operations and Diplomacy. You see 2 dice there. The Soviets are going to try to talk Yemen into a military pact. Okay, military aid and purchase. For 6, the Soviets are sending Warsaw Pact an attack bomber. For 5, they are sending, I've got to look over here. Let's see. For 5, they're going to send Syria a field artillery and a SAM. For 2, with their discount, they're going to send Angola 1 light infantry. Again, that green chip is just for ease of placement. That's it for military aid. Now, purchase, they're spending 4 battle stars and 2 IPP on a minor shipyard upgrade, 22 on 2 next-gen MBTs and a pair of fighters, 14 on 2 MBTs and 2 early-gen fighters, 18 on 2 MBTs and 2 attack choppers, 6 on a destroyer and a frigate, and they're saving 1. Okay, combat movement. The SSN from I-7 comes over here to I-11 to attack the American SSN. The medium bomber, it's on that fleet card right there, takes off, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces down here to I-1, where it is going to attack the American fleet, which consists of a supercarrier, a cruiser, and an amphib, 2 Top Gun ASFs, and an attack bomber. Then the rest of the fleet that's up there, the heavy aircraft cruiser, the cruiser, destroyer, and frigate, are also coming down to join the attack. Up here in Baghdad, there's a strategic bomber and a backfire. They are going to fly 1 into Basra, 2 into I-6, 3, 4, 5, down here to I-3, from which they are going to fire a combined total of 4 anti-ship missiles into the attack. 2 early-gen fighters from Ethiopia, 1, 2, out here into out there into I-3 to escort. One early gen fighter from Sudan, 1, 2, 3, to get out there to escort. There's another one somewhere. Where is he? Oh, over here. In Angola. 1, 2, 3. To get out there and also join the escort force. Two destroyers that were in port at Ethiopia have come out of port. 1, 2, 3. They're coming down here to join the attack. So in total, you've got a heavy aircraft cruiser, a cruiser, 3 destroyers, a frigate, a medium bomber, and 4 anti-ship missiles attacking the fleet. Now, the Americans do have 2 Top Gun ASFs that can scramble. Question is, do they want to scramble into I-1 to try to take out the medium bomber, or do they want to scramble into I-3 to try and intercept the force there? Oh, decisions. The Top Guns are going to scramble into I-1 to try to take out that medium bomber. Yeah. And since the Americans have a cruiser and 2 ASFs, they will have 3 missile defense shots here. Okay, and do they want to? Do they want to? No, they're not going to use the spy satellite and target select. Okay, that's it for right here. Up here in Anatolia, this major airbase in Volgograd shoots a cruise missile 1, 2, 3 into Anatolia in a surgical strike. The SSN and M11, as well as the 2 destroyers in M11, each shoot 1 cruise missile 1, 2 in there in surgical strike for a total of 4 cruise missiles. There's no SAM, so no missile defense. And then here in the Atlantic, yeah, what do you see here? Okay, all the Soviet submarines from A41, 4 SSNs and 1 diesel boat are going up here to A32 to attack the Americans. The 3 SSNs from A42 are coming off silent running, and they're going up there to join the attack. And the Americans do have advanced sonar now, so they have a destroyer and 2 frigates with passive sonar. So these 3 SSNs, and of course the diesel boat, will not have first strike. Oh wait, no. Diesel boats do get first strike, don't they? Let me double check that, make sure I say that right. Yeah, they do have first strike, so never mind. We're actually going to make it the diesel boat and 2 SSNs that do not have first strike. And then 5 SSNs will have. And the Americans are going to scramble the fighter off the supercarrier, pair it to one of the destroyer or the frigates, and it can also join the battle using its sub-attack. And I believe that's that. Yep, I think that's all. So let's do the sub-battle in I-11 first. We have the Soviet is green, the American is red. Okay, the American got a hit, the Soviet did not. So the Soviet SSN is sunk. And there's that. Okay, now we're going to do the surgical strike in Anatolia. I said no missile defense. So we have 3 cruise missiles coming in, and the Soviets do have PGM, you remember. So there are 2 hits with land target select. So the Soviets are going to target the 2 mechs. Take them out. Leaving a SPAG and a field artillery to hold the line in eastern Turkey. Okay, now we will have the sea battle in I-1, and I probably better move that to the board. Okay, here we are. See how it all lays out there. So we've got the anti-ship missiles. Of course, there's AMD first. Okay, those are 3 misses with the missile defense. So here come 4 anti-ship missiles. For 1 hit. And these were not, there's no spy satellites, there wasn't target select, so there's no failings. So the Americans are going to put, what did I do with it? Oh yeah, they're in this thing over here. The Americans are putting 1 hit on the amphib. Okay, we'll just take those off. Now here we go with the rest of it. Okay, frigate. Miss. 3 destroyers. 1 hit. Heavy aircraft cruiser. Miss. Medium bomber. Miss. cruiser. Miss. Whew, not very good shooting. Not very good at all. So now we have 2 Top Gun ASFs at 8. And you believe that they both missed. Okay, then we've got an amphib and a fleet carrier, both at 1. They both missed. And a cruiser at 6. Cruiser did get a hit. Okay, so the Americans are going to put the general hit. They're going to put a first damage on the supercarrier. And Warsaw Pact is going to put a first damage on the heavy aircraft cruiser with their hit. Okay, now we go to round 2. Try to speed it up a little bit. There's 3 destroyers, a frigate, okay, you got 3 destroyers, frigate, cruiser, heavy aircraft cruiser, and that one is the medium bomber. So the medium bomber is a hit. 1 destroyer hit. And that's it. 2 general hits. Yep, 2 general hits. Here's the Americans. 2 Top Gun ASFs. Okay, there's 2 hits. So that is going to kill the medium bomber. The amphib and the fleet carrier, or super carrier. Oh, look at that. One of them got a hit. Who would have thunk that? And then the cruiser. Cruiser gets a target select hit. Surface target select. Okay, so the Americans are going to put the surface target select on one of the destroyers. They're going to kill one of those outright and not take the chance with failings. Okay, 2 general hits by the attacking Soviets. The Americans are going to go ahead and take 1 hit and kill the amphib. It takes 2 hits to sink it. And then they're going to put a second damage on the supercarrier, which takes, of course, 3 hits to sink. That clears that off. And then the attacking Soviets have to take 1 hit, which they're going to take the first damage on their cruiser. Clear that off. Okay, we go again. But now the Top Guns have to go to the box because they no longer have a valid target. So let's do the same thing again. We got a frigate, 2 destroyers, a cruiser, and a heavy aircraft cruiser. The frigate, destroyers, cruiser, heavy aircraft cruiser. Okay, there is one hit by the heavy aircraft cruiser, and that's it. The Americans defend. Supercarrier's white, orange is the cruiser. Okay, they both miss. So one hit has to be taken, and the Americans will take the first damage on their cruiser. Okay, here we are again. There's the Soviets, same lineup as before. Wow, everything missed. That's bad. And then same as before, the carrier's white, the cruiser is orange. Okay, the cruiser got another surface target select hit. And this time they're going to take the chance and they're going to target the cruiser and try to kill it. So the cruiser gets its phalanx shot, and it is successful. No hit. Okay, here we go again. Okay, there are 3 hits. More than enough, they only needed 2. A destroyer, frigate, and the heavy aircraft cruiser each got a hit. No! No! Drop it! Drop it! No! You choked to death on that. Sorry, I dropped the die on the floor, and the Deputy Assistant Chief of Staff tried to gobble it up. There's the defense. Well, look at that. Surface target select by the cruiser and a hit by the supercarrier. So they're going to go and try to hit that cruiser again with the surface target select. And then the Soviets are naturally going to kill the frigate with the general hit. So here's the phalanx again for the cruiser. That time it misses. So the Soviet cruiser goes down. The American carrier and cruiser are both sunk. The Top Gun ASFs do have a landing place. Rather than being lost at sea, they can land here in South Africa. Okay, that comes off there. The attack bomber that was on the carrier, however, is lost. It goes to the bottom with the ship. All right. These guys back on their, back on their card. There was, for the Soviets, a damaged heavy aircraft cruiser and 2 destroyers survived. They do get a battle star for winning a battle against, for winning a battle against 2 plus surface ships. They do not get the extra for defeating a task force, because this technically was not an American task force, as there was no destroyer or frigate present. So the Soviets get 1 naval battle star. And the Americans shot down the medium bomber with air superiority fighters, so they get 1 air battle star for that victory. Okay, that's it there. There is one up here I forgot to tell you about. The battle cruiser in M11 is shooting its 2 P700 Granite missiles at the NATO ships in M10. There's a cruiser and a frigate there, so there's 2 missile defense shots. Both of which miss. 2 P700s come rolling in at 6 for 1 hit. And that was not target select. So get them off there out of the way and put them back with their ship for next time. NATO is going to elect to take the hit on its cruiser. But again, it wasn't a target select hit, so there's no failings. So there's 1 damage on that NATO cruiser. Okay, now we're going to have the slugfest over here in the Atlantic. We'll deploy the auxiliary tray for this. Okay, so we have 5 Soviet SSNs with first strike. And I see 2 first strike hits. Okay, so the Americans are going to put a hit on the amphib, and they're going to put a first damage on one of the battleships. So one of those battleships gets a first hit, and the amphib on the fleet card. Okay, that takes care of that. Now we have 2 SSNs and a diesel boat. Not first strike. And everybody missed. Okay, so now we got the American defense. So here's a supercarrier and an amphib at 1. They both miss. Here's 2 frigates at 2. They both miss. We've got a fighter at 3. He does get a hit, and it is, no, that's, okay, just 1 hit by the fighter. 1 hit by the fighter. Okay, now we have a destroyer at 4. Miss. 2 battleships at 5. The second hit. And finally, a cruiser at 6. No, 2 cruisers at 6. A third hit. Okay, so these 2 SSNs in that diesel boat are sunk. And the Soviets are going to call it quits. They wanted to sting the Americans, and they've done that. So since they can't go on silent running after combat, they have to retreat. So they are going to, they just have to retreat. Well, actually, is it just an adjacent sea zone or one that at least, either it's one sea zone that at least one of them came from. So they're going to retreat here to A39. All right, that is that. So now we have the diplomacy roll for Yemen. No joy. Pair of 4s won't get it done. All right, non-combat movement. Okay, these 4 early gen fighters are all going to land right there in Tanzania. The backfire and the strategic bomber are going to land here on Madagascar. There they are. Oh yeah, this ASW chopper, these 2 ASW choppers are dead because they don't have a landing place within reach. Get these arrows out of the way real quick. All right. These 2 next-gen MBTs, 1, 2, down here to Tanzania. Over here, on the Baghdad card, these 2 next-gen MBTs will move down to northern Saudi, which is this card right here. Then the 2 early gen fighters from Baghdad are also going to fly down here to northern Saudi. And I think that's going to be it for non-combat movement. So now we're placing units. Okay, the minor shipyard upgrade. Give me a reach extender. Minor shipyard upgrade is going right there to Volgograd on the Caspian Sea. That now gives the Soviets 5 major shipyards. We have 2 next-gen MBTs and 2 fighters that are being built at Baghdad. So since it's so crowded, I'm going to put them over here on the Baghdad card. Then we've got 2 MBTs and 2 early generation fighters built here in Ethiopia. Two attack helicopters and 2 MBTs built here in Zaire. So that's actually going to be 4, 5, that's 7 MBTs in Zaire with the 2 attack choppers. And the destroyer and the frigate are built at the minor shipyard there in I-5. And just because they're built in port. Okay, that's that. Now aid gets delivered. Let me refresh my memory here on the aid. Okay, Syria up here gets field artillery and a SAM. Both delivered overland. Then Angola, right? Yeah. Angola over here gets a light infantry, which changes, and that's airlifted in, which changes those 2 gray chips to a green. And finally, the attack bomber goes to Warsaw Pact, which is, looks like it is in Rhineland. So, well, we can't do that. It's got to be delivered to home country. So, I'll get an attack bomber sculpt, actually. It's going to go to East Germany. Okay, that's all military aid delivered. Now it's time to collect some money. So the Soviets are still at 46, plus any zone without an IPP value in Africa or the Mideast. Okay, let's count those again. And I think I may have forgot before, Madagascar counts as part of Africa. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Afghanistan, I don't think, is part of the Middle East. I don't think it is. So there's 10 there. Count again and make sure that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I forgot that one. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11 from that. Is there anything else? Wait, we'd be able to count that twice? No, I'm looking at the wrong guy. Never mind. Looking at the wrong sheet. Ah, yes, 2 each for Nigeria and Shiraz. That's 4 more, makes 15. And that's going to do it. So 46 and 15 is 61. Added to the one they saved gives the Soviets 62 for next turn. 1. Yeah, just 1 battle star, and then 4 anti-ship missiles, and 6 more cruise missiles. Yeah, the assistant chief of staff is trying to get my attention for a conference. Okay, looks like that'll do it. Ozark Outpost, over and out.